And our last fight, our featured prelim of the evening in the men's welterweight division, Carlos the Natural Born Killer Condit versus Court the Crusher McGee.
It's an interesting one, to say the least. I mean, you know, at one point a couple of years ago, we were talking about Carlos Condit being one of the most feared welterweights on the planet. And it's a shame, you know, he's winless since 2015. He's on a 5-fight losing streak, which includes the likes of Damian Maia, Alex Oliveira, and Michael Chiesa. I believe that was his last fight stepping into the UFC against Chiesa, and that was, what, 2018? I think, off the top of my head. But he hasn't fought for a long time, Carlos Condit. And,
yeah, 18.
you know, the best days are behind him, to say the least. And with Court McGee in this fight, I think it's sort of a straightforward game plan, really. I think he's got to take Carlos Condit down, because we've seen Carlos struggle with the grapplers, and his takedown defense is you know, hasn't come up clutch for him in recent fights. So if Court McGee can take this to the ground early on, I just don't think Carlos Condit sort of has the ability, especially right now, to sort of hold his own on the mat and sort of try and get the win himself. So unfortunately, you know, I'd like Carlos Condit back in the day. I think his best days are way behind him, and unfortunately, you know, it's sad for me to say that, but I think Court McGee certainly does have the ability in the wrestling department to sort of get Carlos to the floor and eventually get the win. I'm going for a McGee by decision.
Nice. I might be a little biased here because I am in Salt Lake City, which is where Court McGee is from. Court McGee, season 11, Ultimate Fighter winner. The guy's he's a grinder, man. He grinds them out. He's, like James says, I'm just going to kind of reiterate what James just went over, the fact that Condit, you know, he's on a 5-fight losing streak, hasn't been in the cage since 2018. Court McGee, a little more active. He had 2 fights last year in 2019. I'm going with Court McGee. I don't see this fight getting finished early. I think that Court McGee gets it done by unanimous decision. Yeah, I just think Carlos Condit's best days are behind him, so I'm all over Court McGee on this one.
100% biased towards Court McGee. I think he does win. I actually had the opportunity to train with him a couple times last year. My head coach used to be his striking coach before he was on The Ultimate Fighter. So he's from the area that I'm recording in now. So there's a lot of local ties with Court McGee. He's beloved here in Salt Lake City, legend of MMA here in Salt Lake City, and everybody loves him, and nobody has a bad thing to say about him. He's just the best human being, and has one of the coolest stories in MMA history, his battle with addiction and his foundation of helping people overcome drug addiction and stuff like that. And I can talk about that a little bit because it's very simple. He's going to grab Carlos Condit. He's going to take him down, and he's going to grapple him, and he's going to win. He's going to grind out a unanimous decision. I think Carlos Condit is just way past his prime to be competing at this level. And when you're as dynamic of a killer as he was, once that's gone, show's over. There's a reason why he's lost 5 in a row, and it's about to be 6 in a row.
Yeah, big striking fighters aren't known to get much better and have their best years between the age of 34 and 36, nor are they known to have their best fight in between fights 43 and 44 of their professional career. I think there's a lot of guys that can kind of go way late into their career if they've got kind of the wrestling, submission, tactical movement, different levels to their fight game. But I don't really think that's how Carlos Condit operates or wants to operate. And that's totally okay. But I don't think he's going to win this fight. And I think we'll probably see him retire before too long. But I'm going to take McGee by decision to kind of echo the group.